Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I'd really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you like this watch, you can see it and purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. 2014 was a big year for Bulgari, launching the Octo Finissimo, the origin of the special edition you see here. Bulgari made significant strides away from its traditional reputation as a jeweler and a style house into the world of true manufacturer watchmaking, not just with holdovers from the Daniel Roth and Gerald Genta era, but with true original works inside and out, and the Octo Finissimo was the most important statement as Bulgari made the move into mainstream manufacturer status. But the model you see here is a 50-piece limited series created in collaboration with Waco of Revolution magazine for 2017. Grade 5 titanium with DLC coating. This is a slim watch that wears like a second skin and looks the business. Its visual signature is as outsized as its physical mass is undersized. So let's talk about how it fits and feels. Bulgari now all about ultra-thin watchmaking and running Piaget dead even. 40 millimeters across the broad of the case from 9 to 3, not including the crown. The watch is exceptionally slim, 5.35 millimeters thick, and it's true to its stated measurement. I put a caliper on it, 5.35. Now, lug-to-lug, it's a fairly compact watch in spite of its size. You'd expect a 40 millimeter diameter watch to be more than 46 millimeters lug-to-lug, but because of that measurement, you can actually wear this watch comfortably on a wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference. It helps that titanium is just feather light, and in combination with a wonderful ultra slim strap, the feel of the watch is basically such that you could almost forget it's there. You'll wind up shooting furtive, panicked glances at your wrist to ensure it's still strapped on. It is a matte treatment, large rectangular scale alligator leather on both sides of the gorgeous complementary colored case with a calfskin on the underside. Now you'll note there is a matching Grade 5 titanium and DLC darkened pin buckle to accompany the strap. And look at the underside. It's been evacuated so that the strap actually fits through the twin slots of the side prongs to keep the watch flat on the wrist even when buckled down. Thoughtful, clever, and much appreciated. Now moving in, we can increase the light as well as the zoom. You'll appreciate the lines of the watch. It's a combination of hard facets and character seams, along with a few well-chosen curves. You can see that there is a traditional round bezel, as well as a round sub-seconds, and then the remainder is inspired by Roman architecture. Bulgari, of course, manufacturing in Le Sentier, Switzerland, but still inspired by its Italian roots. You can see that every facet of the watch features the same satin DLC coating atop the Grade 5 titanium base, with the exception of the polished, almost chrome-like crown with double-rowed knurling and the signature ceramic black cabochon fully polished on its top. Now moving in, you can see the many facets, Bulgari claims 110 if you count them all, give way to a dial that is of a matte finish but extraordinary in its coloration because it has the same, and I mean exactly the same shade as the case, so the movement from one metal surface to the other appears absolutely seamless. It looks like a larger watch because of the continuity between dial and bezel and case. They all appear as one grayscale mass. Now, the dial is beautifully skeletonized, a stencil suspended a fraction of a millimeter above the base plate of the BVL 128 caliber, and if you look closely, you'll see that there's actually an engine-turned perlage across the base plate that you can see and appreciate with all its reflective glory through those stencils. Now the hands at center are faceted and polished. They make for a high contrast and easy recognition, highly stylized, and you'll also note there's a little bit of a cantilever whereby the inner faceted bezel looms out over the flanks of the dial, creating a little bit of an overhang and a shading around the edge. Absolutely beautiful. The conception is one thing, but executing and making it look like an art drawing, a fully realized concept. Now jumping onto the case back, this is where the real fun starts for true watch connoisseurs. It's also where the branding starts for those who wonder what Revolution contributed beyond the design suggestions. Well, there is the Revo logo on the caseback 65-hour power reserve indicator with its signature red star and script. Now, the BVL 128 is extraordinary on two levels. First, it's incredibly thin, 2.23 millimeters. It's also incredibly broad, 36.6 millimeters, so the movement itself is broader across than a standard Rolex Datejust. The advantage of that being you get to see a large expanse but it doesn't take up much absolute space. The true sign of a manufacturer building a movement that is shaped and fit to the size of a case, and that is exactly what we have here. 26 joules, beats weight at 28,800 vibrations per hour, and has a full balance bridge, which helps to cushion this ultra-thin movement against shock and disruption on the wrist, but also, thanks to the double anchors of the bridge, helps to stiffen the movement overall. Now, the finishing is exemplary. I'm going to try to turn it flush to the camera. You can start to see how the edges of the bridges light up. There is a mirrored and rounded hand-laid anglage. This is not the kind that is beveled with the machine. This is the kind that's laid down by hand. The old Gerald Genta and Daniel Roth manufacturer in Le Sentier is today manufactured Bulgari, which means the movement you see here is designed, engineered, and finished by the same people who used to bring us, and in many cases still do bring us, ultra-thin grand complications from that roof. Now, you will note that the Côte de Genève are the real deal, textured and thus laid down with a abrasive wheel perfectly aligned across the individual components. You'll note that on one side, and this is how you know it's a true abrasive laid, not stamped Côte de Genève, it's darker on one side and the crests lighten as you move to the opposite side. All of the screw heads are black polished, and you can see that as I move it through the light. They turn black at certain angles, hence the name poly noir or black polish. Even the small details, you'll note some of the wheels, for example, there is a ratchet wheel above the barrel, and there is a base underneath the power reserve, and both feature a circular satin brushed finish. There's a lot of detail going on, right down to the base plate itself, which features a micro perlage underneath the balance structure. This is as good as it gets in terms of watchmaking, a 50-piece limited series, ultra thin, with nothing distinctive of its sponsor on the dial. This is all Bulgari. The co-branding is subtle and thus exquisite. You can see and you can purchase this Revolution magazine Bulgari Octo Finissimo limited edition on our website.